Hello everybody and welcome to episode 18 of our Let's Play here. This time we are going to unlock a few more characters, just 5, and we start with Lumis and Umbra. Although I have a quick confession to make in the beginning, I did not record any of the 2 level 30 duels against Lumis and Umbra. This one is after Lumis and Umbra's unlock already was finished, when they spawned in at level 30 and I was able to defeat them. It is on the same account, I'm using the same deck I would be using for the unlocks. However, it is not during the time of unlocking Lumis and Umbra, just to be clear here. And I want to show you a duel, which is the reason I recorded this one, despite it not being an original unlock duel. Yeah, having said that, the characters that we are getting today are Lumis and Umbra, Bones, Yuri, Roa, and Quattro. And I'm a little bit excited for Quattro actually, since he is the final character in Zale World that I haven't unlocked from the ones that we can get at stage 6. And of course there's still Tori left at stage 10, but we do not need to worry about her for the time being. So then we have some more missions to take care of when it comes to the Lumis and Umbra unlock here, and for that we are dueling them at level 10 at the gate. So there was the mission that stated we have to activate 4 spell cards in duels against them, and previously it was like, I think 8, right? Activate 8 spell cards in duels against them. So now it's just 4 and I already activated a single one, so 3 more spells. And another thing we need to do is activate 4 trap cards in a single duel against them, which of course can be done quite easily. And before all the changes, they actually had the mission that we needed to activate 8 trap cards in a single duel against them. So the number of traps we needed to activate cut in half makes this mission way more manageable, bearable, and way easier. Then we had 2 other missions, which were that we win 3 duels with dark monsters only, and we win 3 duels with fiend type monsters only. And I did this against standard duelists, and that wasn't a big deal since most fiends, as I mentioned before, are dark attributes. So by using some dark fiends against standard duelists, I was able to clear both of these missions with relative ease. And this allows us to stall out this duel here a little more and use some spell and trap cards that I have. When you have to activate a certain amount of spell cards, you can resort to stuff like red medicine, blue medicine, again those life point gaining cards, but also reload, which is helpful to refresh your hand if you already unlocked a few characters, and reload is part of some starter decks, so character starter decks that is. So you can use that, and when it comes to trap cards, I'm using the old guys like Mirror Force, but also some attack buffs like Metal Morph and Kuna with Chain that do not need specific activation requirements, like being activated in the battle phase or whatever. And then cards like Grave Lure I like to use a lot, since it actually is an easily activatable trap card that of course doesn't do much. It just makes the opponent lose 1 card from their deck eventually, but it is a card that I can activate, and I got Grave Lure from defeating a few standard duelists, so as drop rewards. And chances are you will be able to gather a few of those cards as well. And besides that, you can resort to stuff like Shield Spear and maybe the Dragon's Wrath, a continuous trap card, or whatever. Just check your resources, check your card pool, and see what you have. Now, cards like Mirror Force and Magic Cylinder are not as easy to activate because they can only be activated in the battle phase and therefore need the opponent to do something. And it may happen that you end up sitting on Mirror Force or Magic Cylinder for a while and they just clog up your spell and trap zones. It happened to me in the past, so I just wanted to mention this. Then we swap to Mr. Bandit Keith here, since we want to unlock Bones next. And the one mission that we have is that Bandit Keith has to duel Bones at level 30 and win within 6 turns or less. So it's not quite a quick victory, since a quick victory itself would be win in 5 turns or less, so we can afford one more turn. However, winning in 6 turns or less is quite a difficult thing to accomplish if you do not end up getting the right cards in the beginning of the duel. Now he also has cards like Bacon Saver that can stall you out, and I mentioned the Castle of Dark Illusions before, which has more than 1900 defense points, so it is quite hard to get over that one. However, he also plays a card, what was it, Magical Merchant I think, that can mill a bunch of cards from his deck to his graveyard, and if he gets unlucky, he mills basically his entire deck, and therefore you could win that way. But besides that, I decide to just power through with my monsters and call it a day. This leaves one more duel against Bones, but this one is with Joey, and that happened a while ago, so I'm going to show you the replay. It is Joey duels Bones at level 30. This one was a spawn, so not exactly using gate keys here for that duel. However, it was a spawn, and the objective that we need to clear is that we get a comeback victory. And this is where I actually made quite a mistake that I didn't realize at first. It was like in the Ishizu duel, in the Ishizu unlock, that I needed to get life points, and I had the skill Life Point Boost Alpha that you get for Joey for free. And it increases our starting life points by 1000, therefore going up to 5000, which normally is a good thing. However, if you want to lose life points, it makes it more difficult. And when I realized this, was a little bit shocked and thought, how can I salvage this? May I have to try again or what? And I decided to just go with it, go through the duel here, and try to figure out what I can do. Also, this Pump Princess card can be quite annoying, since it decreases my monster's attack and defense points on a regular basis during each standby phase, his and my own, by 100 points, and therefore my monsters get quite weak. However, Pump Princess is treated as a spell card, so I can use cards like D-Spell or even my Elemental Hero Stratos effect to get rid of that. And when I realized my mistake with the Life Point Boost Alpha skill, I decided to just wing it, as I said, and let him attack me, make me lose a few life points, and then pick up from there. We also had a few more missions to do, which was that we collected 3 zombie type monsters, and I did this with Rush Duel drops that gave me a few copies of Skull Servant. And then I also had to win 3 duels with zombie type monsters only against standard duelists. That was quite easy, and even though you do not have a lot of zombie monsters and the ones you have are quite weak, it is okay, since you can set other monsters like your Blue Flame Swordsman or whatever, and as long as you do not switch them to attack position or attack with them, and if you do not summon them, you should be fine. Okay, then we swap to Arc 5 world and want to finish Yuri's unlock, and Yuri spawned in the world at level 30. The one objective I have left here for the unlock is that Yuya wins against Yuri at level 30, and Yuri can be a pain because of his one Predator Plant monster that makes one of my monsters level become 1, and then he can just attack with his monster, and my monster is destroyed automatically, and that just sucks because he then can get rid of basically any of my monsters. I do not have a Towers-like monster which is unaffected, so I had to finish him off here before it got too annoying. We also had to perform 3 pendulum summons, 3 XYZ summons, 3 synchro summons and 3 fusion summons in duels against Yuri with Yuya. And I did this against him at level 10, but I did this over the course of several duels, so it is whatever. Just because I didn't have many XYZ monsters or synchro monsters to summon. And that means we can unlock Yuri as well. So then, let's swap to 7th world, and I'm going to show you a replay here of Yuga versus Roa at level 30, who happened to spawn in the world. And we have to win this duel. When it comes to 7th world characters, we usually have to play as Yuga or maybe Luke or whatever and win against that specific character at level 30 one time, like it was the case with Mimi and also a Nail and so on. So one time level 30 is fine and I'm not complaining at all. And yeah, let's get Aurora's level 30 win out of the way. And Aurora level 30 is fine, not too difficult, and you can beat him probably, and I'm still using the same stuff that I've been using ever since I got all of these structure deck and starter deck cards at once. So the best stuff that I have, essentially, without spending any more resources. And after this duel that is now finished, because we won, I can show you another duel replay here, which is Yuga versus Roa at level 10, who also spawned in the world. And this time around I want to summon 7th Road Magician and activate a spell card. Spell card's been activated, and just like always with these missions, I deplete my hand as much as I can to make sure that I draw 5 cards next turn, and therefore thin out my deck a little and have a higher chance of getting 7th Road Magician. And then there were 2 missions that do not have anything to do with Roa himself, which were that Luke has to get a comeback victory against anyone, and I chose to use a standard duelist. And honestly, I forgot about that mission, and when I was recording and ready to claim all of Roa's rewards, I noticed that I still hadn't done this comeback thing, and usually I don't lose many life points against standard duelists, so no wonder I messed this one up. So I had to go for the comeback victory first and then do it again, this unlock stuff. And also another mission that doesn't have anything to do with Roa is that Gavin summons 10 warrior monsters in total, and I did this against standard duelists as well. For example, this Max Raider, which is a level 7 warrior type monster without an effect that you can get in most of the character starter decks, but also other stuff like your Celtic Guardian and so on. So you have a lot of warriors and you just summon 10 of them and you should be fine unlocking Roa. We then swap to Zale World, and I want to go for Quattro, which is because the wheel of names finally landed on Quattro. And as I said in the beginning, I'm quite excited about this one, not because I need to unlock him for any other character unlocks, missions or whatever, but just because I have been waiting on his unlock for quite some time. So, this first duel is against Quattro at level 30 at the gate, and Reginald has to summon number 32 Shark Drake and get a comeback victory against him. So nothing too crazy, we have been able to summon number 32 Shark Drake before, and by this point you know that Shark Drake is added to his extra deck with his starting skill, and it is a monster that requires 3 level 4 monsters as materials. Then there's one more mission, which is that Reginald duels Quattro and wins with water attribute monsters only. And I could have tried to do it against him in this duel, in this level 30 duel. However, I decided against that since level 30 Quattro is someone I do not want to mess with. Maybe I could have done it, maybe not, but the water monsters that I have are not really that great, and also I do not really have many level 4 water attribute monsters that I could use to summon number 32 Shark Drake. And as I said, you need 3 level 4 monsters on the field to be able to summon Shark Drake, so if I have a level 3 water monster it will just make summoning Shark Drake impossible for me unless I can get rid of it. And I normally can't. So, having said all of this, we got number 32's summon and got the comeback victory like always, which allows us to go for the next duel, which again is Reginald versus Quattro, but we are dueling him at level 10. And the objective is we win with water attribute monsters only. Normally, when you have to win with a certain attribute or a certain monster type only, it is enough to just have a few of those in your deck and then do not actually summon any of those. You can just, as I said, set them face down and let your opponent attack into them. You could make do with not switching them to attack position and not actually normal summoning them or special summoning them. But if you set them, you're normally fine, and then you normal summon a water attribute monster, and if that's your only summon, that normally would work. However, in the past I realized that this mission in particular was a deck building issue. If I have anything in my extra deck or in my main deck that is not a water attribute, it doesn't matter if I summon it or not, if I have anything that's not a water attribute, this mission will not count as being cleared. Which is kind of strange, but hey. So let me now show you the water deck that I was using. It's not a proper water deck like a shark deck or whatever, you know it. However, it's just water attribute monsters that I was able to use since I had them in my collection. Then we have to swap to Kite here to clear another Quattro mission. Yeah, I'm dueling Quattro 4 times in this unlock. So this time we are going up against him at level 10 once more, and the objective for Kite is that we summon 2 level 8 or higher dragon type monsters in a single duel against him. And when it comes to level 8 dragon monsters, you're like, okay, maybe you use your Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon and Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, or you summon Stardust Dragon, that all would work. However, there's an easier method and easier monster that comes to mind first, which is of course Blue Eyes White Dragon. You are bombarded with Blue Eyes White Dragon when you are on a new account. You get so many copies of that, it's not even funny anymore. From DSOD Seto, DSOD Mokuba, DM Seto, DM Mokuba from Solomon, you get so many Blue Eyes White Dragons, and then the lifetimes card list. Maybe a login bonus if you're lucky and one is going on right now, or maybe not. And so that works. Also, there's this one effect monster dragon that you get from leveling up Yuya, which can be summoned with just one tribute if the monster that you tribute is a level 5 or higher monster as well, or something like that. And let's not forget about the fact that you had to get Odd Eyes Lancer Dragon, which would work as well. Lancer Dragon, again, if you forgot, is for the Shay unlock, and I used a card ticket on this card, so I was able to do that. Now, one more duel against him at level 10, and this is with Yuma. The objective is that we summon 4 level 4 warrior type monsters in a single duel against him. It's not just like a level 4 or higher warrior type monsters, no, it's just level 4 warrior monsters. Like, don't know, Celtic Guardian maybe, or Elemental Hero Stratos, Gearfried the Iron Knight, and so on. Also, for this mission, it also counts if you use rank 4 warrior monsters. Number 39 Utopia is a warrior, and number C39 Utopia Ray is also a warrior. And then you have this number C39 Utopia Ray Victory, or whatever it's called, from the lifetimes list, which is a rank 5. That would not count. Also, it's quite hard to summon. Anyways, you can get a lot of level 4 warrior type monsters, even from DM Joey's starter deck, and from leveling up DM Joey, and DSOD Joey of course as well. So there shouldn't be a shortage of level 4 warrior type monsters for you to summon, and that allows you to clear this mission just as easily as I have been clearing it. With this all said and done, we can finally claim all the rewards for Quattro and unlock him. Now we are still at stage 6 in most of these speed worlds, trying to get the characters that were available then, But we are going to go for more stage missions soon. Maybe in the next episode, who knows? I know that this episode is done, so all that's left to say is, again, thank you so much for watching.